It allows him to employ a houseboy, an African. The Africans are the servants in every Asian household. They earn about £2 a week, providing their masters with the good life. Only since the general started intensifying his pressure on the Asians are the cracks beginning to show. There is resentment and envy. And though they're leaving behind their businesses, their house and their money, nearly all the Asians are longing to go. This family was about to leave for England when it heard that its flight had been cancelled by the government. As the head of the family was frightened to speak openly in front of Africans for fear of informers, we were forced to go to the outskirts of Kampala to talk. How will you feel about leaving?
Pretty sad. I've lived all my life here, and it's a beautiful country. And I'll really feel sad when I leave, because I used to think it's my own country, at one time, because I'm born here.
Now?
Well, now I don't have any feelings for it, because most of my kinsmen aren't being treated, in the right way, They're being treated in a very inhuman way, I should say. And we've been asked to quit the country in 90 days, But the problems the Uganda government is sort of giving us are really bad,
Tell me, why are the Asian people here now so frightened that you meet?
Probably they think that there's going to be some kind of a coup or a war or something, pretty soon. And if something happens to the president one of these days, maybe the army will blame the Asians, and they think that the Asians will be the first one to get slaughtered.
Are they frightened of the army particularly?
Yeah.
Why the army so much?
Well, for the last few years that the army has been in power, it has been really, really hostile and wild, Every time there's something, they just come out of the barracks, raid houses, harass people, just beat them up, things like these.
Do you understand why he told the Asians they had to get out?
Probably because he thinks that they've been taking a lot of money out of the country, and he thinks mostly the Africans are out of business, because of the Asians here in Uganda, which I don't think is true. Frankly speaking, the Africans have never worked all that hard to attain this standard,
What do you think of the Africans here?
They're okay, they're not too bad, but some of them, some of them are really, really nasty.
In what way? Speaking. Really nasty?
They don't have any respect, for us Asians, They can just talk to us like, they're talking to their houseboy or somebody, and abuse people on the roadside and this and that.
Are you aware of characteristics that are different in the personalities of yourself compared with an African or contrasted with an African?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
What kind of ways?
Yeah, like, I would only sort of I would spend, under my budget. Whereas I've seen some Africans, my good friends, some of my good African friends, so they make 1,000 shillings a month. But by the 15th of the month, they would have spent all their money and then come and borrow money from me, for the rest of the month,
What do you think of that?
I think that's quite bad, actually. I mean, they should always try to control their expenses, I mean, I have never been a rich man all my life. When my dad died, I was only left 300 shillings in the bank, I started with those 300 shillings and I worked my way through, And I've always sort of kept one thing in mind, that I must spend under my budget. And this way I've been kind of successful.
What are the qualities, do you think, that the Asians will be bringing to Britain? I mean, what do you think are the most important qualities they've got?
They've got very good business qualities, mainly. Like, they might start owning a lot of properties in the UK, in the near future. Because Asians have always liked to own properties, like buildings and houses, They're not interested in luxuries of the world, actually. Because they think in the long run, properties and businesses do pay a lot.
And the Africans?
Well, Africans, I think they live their life every day, sort of earn 10 shillings today and spend maybe 10, or maybe spend 11, 10 from his own pocket and 1 from somebody else's pocket.
Only a mile from the commercial heart of Kampala, the standpoint is very different. From here, the Africans look up at, but hardly take part in, the economic life of Uganda. Only 3% of Uganda's 10 million Africans are in regular work. The other 9.5 million merely subsist. For the moment, the economic war, the political crisis that hangs over their country, leaves them untouched. Because Uganda is fertile and underpopulated, because most families own a plot of land, no Africans starve. But they hardly prosper. Even the Africans in regular work earn a bare £8 or £10 a month. The lowest paid Asians earn 3 or 4 times that. It's hardly surprising that some of them are now responding to the propaganda of the government radio. I want to ask you, what do you think of the decision to expel the Asians from Uganda?
Anyway, leave that one. Leave that one. Just leave that one.
Okay.
Tell me.
You don't want to tell me why?
Where are you from?
From England.
From England?
Yes.
Get me your passport.
I have got it in my car.
Get it. Get it.
I can't get it now because I'm walking around the streets talking to people.
No. Hello?
Are you unhappy?
Stop that one. Stop that one.
Why do we have to stop?
Don't take anything.
Why? So can you explain why?
No. Yes, I'm going to explain.
Please.
You remove this one from me.
Yes,
remove
okay,
it.
I'll move it there.
Yeah.
Can you explain?
Yes. I will be very pleased to see your boat passport.
We've got passports.
Yeah,
we have to have passports.
Anyway, when did we enter here?
We entered here about a week ago.
Huh?
About a week ago.
About a week ago. Now.
Can I talk to you, please?
That is none of my business.
It is none of your business. I see.
You go with him first.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
I would like to see the passport.
Are you an official?
Anyway, don't ask me about that one.
Tell me, what do you think about the fact that the British Asians are leaving?
Actually, that's a bit difficult question for me. You mean my attitude
Yes.
about
Yes, your
going?
attitude.
Yeah. Anyway, it's good. It's good for them to go.
Why?
They have sacked us enough.
Will you be taking over their businesses?
Yes, according to the government's help.
What do you think about the Asians?
I want them to go.
You want them to go?
Oh, yes.
Why is that?
They kicked us.
What do you think of President Amin's decision to ask the British Asians, to tell the British Asians to leave Uganda?
I don't think I would have any comment about that.
Why?
Well, I just don't feel free to say anything about it.
Do you think it is right that the Asians should go?
What should I say? Well, it all depends
On what?
on what the president feels about it.
What do you think?
The same thing. I don't want a photo, please.
Same thing. Okay.
Doesn't want,
I like Asians.
What?
I like them.
You like Asians?
Yeah.
Are you sorry they're going?
Yeah, I'm sorry, because I like them. They can give us money in this market here. We are carrying for them baskets. you know, and they're giving us 5 shillings. That's why I like them.
What do you think about the Asians leaving Uganda?
And they should go.
They should go.
Yeah.
Uganda's only daily newspaper, the Argus, is dedicated to the support of General Amin. It offers no criticism of the military dictatorship it fears to offend. The Argus staff follow their leader's line.
You know, from experience, we've discovered that Asians are very, very shrewd. And they've been exploiting this country for a very, very long time. So if the president gave them a very long time, they would have really succeeded in taking everything from this country.
Do you have no qualms at all about the decision to tell people to get out in 90 days?
Not at all. Why should I? I think President Amin is in the right direction.
But what about the queues of extremely worried and quite often frightened Asians saying, we don't know where we're going, we don't know what's going to happen to us, why can't we get out of the country, our papers are being held, that kind of thing. Doesn't that worry you at all?
But for people who have been living with Asians, we know how much they can panic, you know, when it's a minor thing. And that's why we expected this. In fact, they are doing it better. We expected much more confusion than there is today.
Why?
Because they are known as the most panicky people in the world. If you've been living with these people, you would, you know, just know that this is the right thing they're doing. There is no cause to worry at all.
The Asians say that the reason why they dominate the economy is because they're actually better businessmen, that they're better at doing those kind of things than the Africans are. Willie?
No, it isn't. The fact is that the Africans were deprived of opportunities to get into trade. That's the whole point behind this.
Rebecca.
And again, going back to this question of racialism, I think in the case of Uganda, this does not arise. Because if you were to go back, I mean, to the coming of the Indians here, they were just imported by the British when they were constructing the railway line from Mombasa to Uganda, see, in the first place. So these people belonged to the British, not Uganda. And when Britain was leaving, when the British government was leaving, then they left their people behind, giving just a headache.
Another view would be that, in fact, they've sustained the economy, and now that they're going, the economy is going to collapse.
You know, it will
Really?
collapse for a short time, but I'm sure after the teething troubles, then the economy will come up.
The Asians were gaining much from us. And you said earlier that, you know, the economy would collapse. Yeah, it will, maybe, for some time. But we are going to build up. We are ready to work hard for the country. We're not just going to sit behind and relax, leave nature take its own course.
Uganda's fragile economy is verging on collapse. If the whole business and commercial edifice of Kampala is not to crumble with the Asian exodus, if Amin is to win the economic war, then he'll need money and men. Otherwise machinery will run down, offices and shops will close, prices will rise, and thousands of Africans will find themselves without work. At the moment, even if the men are there, with £30 million of aid suspended, the money is not. It is no wonder that the Asians tremble. When the army speaks, Uganda listens. When the army acts, there is usually bloodshed. That is rarely out of the Asians' minds. As President Amin drives them closer to panic, they seek only escape, even if it is to a hostile shore.